Her father being revolutionary, he didn't want his children to be violent.
We would often come to Goa, to our ancestral home in Ribandar.
Every child is impressed with the word commando. Both of us are certified by Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do.
I had this thing in mind that some contribution to the country is going to be the goal of my life.
So close quarter battle means where you engage with the enemy at 30 yards or less.
Honor and duty are two things that have always been very important for me.
Well, hello and welcome to a very special episode of Goa Connect. And today I have amazing guests with me. If I may call them, they are the powerful couple of India. Joining me is Honorary Major Dr. Deepak Rao and also Dr. Seema Rao. Well, Major Deepak Rao in 2011 was pipped by the Indian Army Chief and made brand ambassador of the Indian Army TA alongside MS Dhoni and Abhinav Bindra. While Dr. Seema Rao was the winner of the highest National Nari Shakti Award from the President of India and World Peace Award, aptly called as the Indian Wonder Woman. Thank you very much for sparing your time. I know you have a very busy schedule, but then again spending this time here in Goa, and people come to holiday in Goa. You have spent a little time with us to just for the interaction. I really thank.
It's our pleasure, Rohit.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure too.
It's good to be here.
Okay, first of all, how's the weather? How is Goa treating you? Both.
Oh well, Goa is her,
Yeah, so
her native village.
Okay.
So we enjoy Goa.
it's lovely. It's December here, so I think the weather is just getting cool. And right now it's pleasant with the Mandvi River next. It's like really exhilarating.
Goa has got the charm, and I think the charm I can see it on your faces, both of you, experiencing Goa here. Dr. Seema Rao, fondly called as Wonder Woman of India,
By the
and
press.
also won the prestigious National Nari Shakti Award from the President of India and World Peace Award. Now, tell me one thing. How did you both, start your journey? Because the kind of credential you've been associated with the Indian Army, you've been training, you have been, working out a lot of different innovations that, have been in terms of tacticals. You have been overcoming a lot of different things. How was your background growing up, especially in your childhood? Both of you separately, I would ask this question. And then, coming together and becoming this powerful couple.
So I think you go
I
first.
think you're exaggerating, powerful couple. We're just a normal couple. But it all started with love.
Yeah.
This Goan chick, she enamored me, wasn't it?
yeah, sure.
But you always had this passion towards, towards maybe army or defense.
Yeah.
So let me start by saying that my father is a freedom fighter, Ramakant Sinari, and I think that was one thing that inspired me, because I realized that there were certain things that he did for the liberation of Goa against the Portuguese rule, and some stories here and there which he narrated to me, and I was really impressed, and I thought that probably I should also do something for the country. So that was, I think, deep down somewhere, I had this thing in mind that some contribution to the country is going to be the goal of my life. And then when we met, then I think we had our thoughts aligned in some way, and we, shifted to Pune. And in Pune, that's where I first saw, the army. There's an institute there, so they were training over there inside. And look at that, and that's what really changed the course of our life. And we ended up training the forces for 25 years.
Before going to you, sir, I would like to ask another question to you. Is early childhood, especially when Goa was getting liberated, it was a different world altogether. That your childhood must have been a little different to the normal childhood that people would say. How different or how challenging was it, growing up? Especially, and how protective was your father? Because the world has completely changed thereafter. How was that Goa, or how was that India?
Well, let me tell you that I was in Mumbai because my father, after the liberation of Goa, he moved to Mumbai, and then he pursued his career in philosophy and got a doctorate in that as well, and took up a job in IIT Mumbai. So when I was born in Mumbai, but we would often come to Goa, to our ancestral home in Ribandar, and spend a whole summer vacation over here eating the fish and enjoying everything that Goa has to offer. So that was the time of the year when things were like, okay, we're going back to the native place and going to enjoy Goa. But apart from that, like I mentioned, that my father was during the freedom struggle. He was very much a part of it, in the sense that he wrote a lot of inflammatory anti-Portuguese propaganda. He was responsible for that. And then, the underground activities that they do and all that. So, and then liberation of Goa, and then he came to Mumbai, and then I was born later after that. But I remember stories that he told me, and somehow those stories had a huge impact on my mind. So, and then that's, sometimes they say that intense desire creates its own talents and opportunities. So, I think the desire was there, we picked up the talents, and then the opportunity came across and we jumped at it, and then 25 years just passed like that. So,
it's a silver lining that you have, sir. I think another thing I would like to ask you is, you have been mastered in this, close quarter battle. Yeah. Okay, you've trained around 20,000 soldiers in this modern, close quarter battle. How has been that experience, and how has, your childhood or the early days have influenced this particular aspiration of you getting into defense, getting into, this kind of services, and then, modernizing and, transforming the way it is played?
You see, I think every child is impressed with the armed forces, impressed with the uniform, impressed. Today, in today's era, I think every child is impressed with the word commando. Everyone wants to, give his life for the country and, show valor in the battlefield.
Correct.
So, I also grew up like that, but I did not have any opportunity as such. So, I finished my formal education and I took up study of martial arts. So this is way back, like now I'm 60 years old. So
you don't look like both of.
Sorry?
You don't look like.
Yeah. So when I was 12, I started my training in martial arts. And like both of us are certified by, Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do. Now Bruce Lee taught, he made 5 instructors in his lifetime, 5 grandmasters rather, 5 people. 4 of them are dead now, only 1 is alive. So one of those 5 was our teacher. So from Los Angeles, and he qualified us in Bruce Lee's art and philosophy. And right from early age, this was my first introduction to combat and to engagement. So when we settled down in Pune, and Seema suggested that we should start, interacting with the armed forces and share our expertise in Jeet Kune Do, that is Bruce Lee's martial art. That's how it all started. Then later on, we took to firing, shooting, and like we devised our own method of shooting, which was, which became popular with the armed forces. And then we went into team-on-team, team firing and team-on-team tactics. And we ended up with commando simulation exercises, where 2 teams, one plays hostiles and one plays commandos, and they engage in simulation, live fire simulation. So these are the kind of area where we specialized in. That area came to be known closely and loosely as close quarter battle. So close quarter battle means where you engage with the enemy at 30 yards or less. So everything is different. The way you aim is different. The way you engage is different. The tactics where one team, engages in combat with the other is different. So anyway, that's too much of technicality. But yes, we had a lot of fun. And we went on from being civilians who were interested in martial arts. And we worked as a full-time, committed resource for the Indian Armed Forces for 25 years. And we ended up training commandos. So that is the, in short, one-line journey.
The best part, I think, the audience needs to know is you both are qualified doctors, right? You balance this particular passion of yours with the profession that you are in. And also, over this 25 years, I was just reading and going through a lot of literature about you. Both of you have given your services without a single remuneration that you have taken from. It's a selfless service, which apparently is really difficult to say see in these particular days. What was that one factor that you said, let us do it, but let us do it, completely selfless?
So let me say that for me, honor and duty are two things that have always been very important for me. So I think that is one thing that influenced the fact that we did not want to take any charges for what we were training the forces for and do it as a selfless service. Secondly, I think there is a saying that again was something that influenced me, and it was, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. So these were the two things that influenced me. So I was okay with not, though of course it was difficult, there's no doubt, because we were traveling 8 months in a year to various locations. Sometimes we were together, sometimes he was in one location, I was somewhere else. And naturally, like, of course, in the forces, everything was taken care of. Everything was catered to. But when you'd come back home, then the question would be of what to do about, simple things. But we handled that like I had some jewelry that some fixed deposits which we got rid of, and we sustained ourselves. Because I think the thing is that sometimes as you find a meaning in your life, you find something very purposeful, something very respectable, something very deeply satisfying, and I think that is when you decide that it's all worth it. So that's how I looked at it.
That is another interesting thing, that you always had a passion towards martial arts, even in the beginning while you were pursuing your professional life. Then you shifted and focused on all these defense tactics that you were working with. She mentioned saying that the early childhood was very protective. Any phobias that you had that you had to overcome over this course of time, and how has major played a very important role in overcoming that? This is nothing short of like a zindagi fir na milegi dobara kind of a moment for me.
No. So let me first say that the relation that we have is not like a husband and wife, and I'd like to tell all the youth out there that any relating should be such that both of you together, it's not like the husband-wife relationship, but as two friends, if you're able to live together with that in mind, then I think you're going to contribute to each other throughout. So in that respect, Deepak really contributed in right in the beginning. I used to have this fear of confrontation. So and I used to see him do martial art with a lot of passion. So then I told him that I need to do this because I want to become strong, and I'm extremely weak. I used to be bullied as a child. So that's where my journey started of overcoming my fears.
She was scared of everything, because I think her father being a revolutionary against the Portuguese, he wanted his children to be mild. He didn't want his children to be violent. So Professor Sinari, from Ribandar, Goa Ribandar, he never gave a look into his aggressive, violent life to his children. He brought his children up very meekly. He brought his children up saying, you don't get into confrontation, don't engage into fights, you just be mild and just
be a good citizen rather, not getting into all this.
Get bullied, but good type of a girl.
Yeah, so but I think he had been through so much that he didn't want us to go through that, and as girls he wanted to protect us. But
the result was...
Yeah.
It was always within you. It was in the DNA, I would say. But
possibly.
Yes,
but post-liberation and
upbringing was such that she was afraid of water.
Yes.
She was afraid of heights.
Yeah. A lot of
and
phobias.
She was afraid of confrontation.
Yeah,
so
I know.
that's when I recommended to her that she should do her, mountaineering course with the Army Mountaineering HMI, Himalayan Mountaineering Institute, Indian Army. I told her that she should do her scuba diving with Paddy. So she was terrified. No, I had a hard time convincing her to do this. But I said, you should do it. And well.
Yeah, because a lot of times, you want to stay in your comfort zone. you don't want to get out of it. It's like, okay, if I'm afraid of this, it's fine. But then at some point I did realize that I can't live with these fears. But again, you need somebody to give you a push and to give you that support and to prod you, ki you have to do this. So I think that was something that he did, which I was in the beginning very resistant to. But later on I was really very happy and thankful that he had to push me on to that. So I'll narrate about my scuba diving incident that is there. So I went to do the scuba diving course very reluctantly. And in the beginning they take you to the base of the swimming pool and they teach you all the manuals and all that, and with your the scuba suit and all that stuff. So they did that, and then finally when all that was done, they took us out to sea. And over there, everybody jumped into the water, and I was about to jump and I looked at the water and I was like, this is it. I'm not jumping. I was terrified, mortally terrified with the water. So the instructor said, okay, first he tried to persuade me. I said, no, I can't do this. So let it be, it's okay. So he said, fine. So then the boat had an edge, like a wall. So I sat on that and we started talking. So he started talking to me about my work, etc., what I do. And I was totally relaxed. It was beautiful. The sea was there around, and I was like more than happy that, okay. And suddenly out of the blue, he lifts my legs up like that and throws me backwards into the water. And I was engulfed by the water, and it was just water everywhere and me. And that moment, for a few seconds, I was like, okay, I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
And then slowly,
And you were what, 22, 23 at that time?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then slowly I just calmed myself, okay. I conquered my fear. Okay, it's very important. That fear is a part of everybody, but one has to harness and understand fear and overcome fear. So I did that and I just relaxed, and then as I deflated my suit, I went down, and what I saw down was the sea, the fish, the weeds.
You started enjoying.
And I realized that this is a whole world underneath. And my fear actually dissolved in the water. So,
That's nice. So I think one very important thing is what I want to ask is, whenever we are in the world where we see, Ukraine, Russia war, Israel, Palestine war, we have seen it in past with respect to Kargil or maybe Galwan, a lot of wars that happen. We as a civilian, we have a complete different look towards the war. For us, it is either you win or you lose. But you are part of the entire ecosystem where you experience war at maybe first or the second level. If there is one thing that you would like to, both of you would like to share for us as a civilian, to make us understand what is it to get into a war, what is it being in the war, and what is the pain, what is the thing that you end up losing, and however you might be prepared for, but that moment is something that maybe you guys experience, we don't, because we are far away from the battleground. What would be that thing that would
Well, first, we don't engage in war. we
no,
train,
but you're
people.
part of
Train
that,
people.
those
train
stories
people.
basically.
Yeah. And I can give you a more broader, perspective to whatever you asked. I think everyone has a battlefield in front of him. Every single person has, battles. He has battles for his job. He has battles for his progress in life. He has certain goals. He has certain obstacles. There are certain, adversities that come, like illness can come, or marital discord can come, or the son could, get into bad habits, son or daughter. So
Challenges are everywhere.
everyone faces challenges, and everyone has a choice either to just accept it and submit yourself to destiny, or to fight it back. So you fight it back, you become a soldier, and that philosophy of combat, or philosophy of fighting back an adversity without giving up, is as relevant to everybody as it is to a soldier to win his the battles of his motherland.
Correct.
So that is, I think, a larger take back.
Okay.
So
You'd like to add something, or you're agreeing to what sir has said?
I think, yeah, on similar lines, I'd like to say that there is courage in every one of us, and there are battles as well, and some battles are really impossible, or so we think they are. But when one decides that he wants to confront and deal with the enemy within, that is what makes all the difference. Because when you want to face the enemy within, there is a chance that you are going to win. But when you don't want to face the enemy within, you're 100% lost, defeated. So that's what I
That is what is real. I think, and also
by
evolve.
enemy within, I think what you mean is, that the greatest obstacle to anything that you will ever, face is your own self.
Yes,
Yeah.
your own
Because
mind.
it's your own mind that says you can't do this.
Yes.
So greatest
Absolutely.
adversity is
So
your mind.
for a layman, it is procrastination that you have to first battle with. Everything falls thereafter. I think.
You see, a coconut fell this very
Aptly.
moment.
Aptly right. Also, with modernization happening with respect to defense system, whether it is combat training, whether it is evolution that we all see. How do you see India transform as a global powerhouse, and how do you look forward for being securing our borders first,
Yeah.
and also dominating the global narrative that we're trying to pursue?
Yeah, I think, we are updating ourselves on all fronts, whether it is, our Air Force or whether it's Army. Army is getting equipped with the state-of-the-art, assault weapons, and our Air Force is getting equipped with the state-of-the-art fighter aircrafts, and Navy is getting equipped equally. So I think we are all meeting the challenges, head-on, and India is all set to become a global power.
Superpower.
So, and
And
particularly
I think thanks to the fact
Asia.
that we have a prime minister like Modi, who is a very
Proactive.
Pursuing hard.
proactive, and he has a vision, and that's so much of change he has brought about to our country. So I think we are heading in the right direction.
I think we are heading in the right direction, and also the kind of work that both of you have done is tremendous. The literature that you have written with respect to the note. I think your commando training and books have been accepted in FBI, Interpol, and Buckingham libraries. And also, sir, your literature, 10 political books that you have written on political science, military training, with some of the books gone to, again, FBI, Interpol, and
a
Buckingham.
lot of our books are co-authored.
It is a feat that I think you both should celebrate, and as a Goa Connect, I think we all should also look forward and celebrate this particular feat of yours. Look, going forward, there are a lot of youth that we rightly said that procrastination is first battle that every individual should have, and then overcome that. What is one message that you would like to give to the youth, especially who are looking forward, or maybe the parents looking forward? Because we traditionally look at the careers which are like traditional careers or common careers that we want to pursue. But if somebody has this kind of a passion and somebody should go ahead, what is that one advice that you would like to give the youth or the parents, nurturing the kids' future?
You'd go first, sir?
I go first. Yeah. I have a little bit different advice here. I think, well, this is strictly my strong and personal opinion. I don't think that, parents should wake their child up and say, come on, you study all night because, your career is more important than anything else. I think they should encourage their child to, to balance his entertainment, his games, his sleep along with his studies. So I think the day our parents start teaching our children, you go for football in the evening, you go to school in the morning, you sleep at night, and next day you get up and give your exam. And not that you compromise on your football and compromise on your sleep, and you study all night and then give your exam and tumhara zindagi ho jayega. I think if this trend is corrected, then we will have much more leaner, more disciplined, less procrastinatory, citizens of our society.
Seema?
I think that one is parents should look at their boy and girl child in the same way. Usually a boy is encouraged but a girl is not encouraged in certain things. So that discrimination should be destroyed because it starts from there, because a girl grows up thinking that I'm the weaker sex, which is untrue. I believe a male and female are the same. So it should change, that the approach that parents have towards their children should change. Second is, I think for every woman, I'd like to say this. As a woman grows up, a girl grows up into a woman and then either gets married or stays single, whatever it is, her vocation, her profession is very important. And for women who are married as well, who are having families and children, your work is not just the family and the kitchen that, okay, you may do all that, you may do your duties to your family, but you have a life of your own and you must pursue something in your own line of interest and make it a goal in your life. So it's not just about doing your duty to others, but it's also doing your duty to yourself. And that's what I'd like to tell every woman there, because every woman has some capability, but it's just that she doesn't know, she's not aware of it, and she doesn't unleash it. Given an opportunity where she can unleash her capabilities, I think it will make a whole lot of change for her.
You spoke about gender bias, and if not mistaken, you train both female as well as male predominantly. Mostly male.
Yes.
So this is something that we should, continuing to the message that Madam gave us, I think this is one thing that we should take back from this particular interview. Pleasure it was to have you again on your soil, your native village, and I rightly said it's a powerful couple that I have today on this beautiful morning. It was indeed pleasure understanding your life, your goal, your mission. One very important is you will accomplish a lot of things in your future, in your career, but there is something that you should do, is that selfless service. This couple has been doing it for over these years. If not mistaken, it is 25 years that you mentioned. I think this is something that I take back from this interview. Thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you.
Same here.
Yes, yeah,
We had a great
absolutely.
time talking to you. And let me assure you, I am 60 and she's 55 and we are still going.
The last one I will cut, 55.
Yes, 55.